Welcome to a hot, steamy night in New York City. Today, temperatures reaching 95 degrees. That's rather appropriate because Knick fever is rampant throughout the 5 boroughs. And at Madison Square Garden, it's loud on the outside and deafening on the inside throughout these playoffs as we get set for the showdown here in the East for the right to play in the NBA Finals. Jalen Brunson continues to put up stellar playoff numbers. It's his second consecutive conference finals. Donovan Mitchell will play in his first conference final game coming off his signature Game 7 road performance. It's the Cavs and the Knicks, Game 1 best of 7, as we welcome you to the Eastern Conference Finals presented by Duncan. And you look at the brackets, and then there were only four teams left last night in Oklahoma City. The Spurs with that thrilling double overtime win. And now it's the Knicks and the Cavs' turn here in the Eastern Conference. And good evening, everyone, with Richard Jefferson and Tim Legler, Mike Green on hand. Lisa Toth is with us as well. If we come even close to last night's all-time classic, we're going to have a great night tonight. But make no mistake about it, the Knicks and Cavs, they're doing some great things as well. And we'll start with the Knicks legs. 7 straight playoff victories, and they're setting NBA playoff records while they're doing it. What's going on?
Well, Mike, Jalen Brunson continues to put up great numbers, and he's the engine behind this offense. He's been doing it since the day he got to New York. What's different is now the totality of this offense and the way they're utilizing their pieces, and that starts with Karl Anthony Towns. Using his size, his vision, his touch, his ability to orchestrate their offense has made everybody on the floor a threat. As a result, you are seeing historic efficiency out of the Knicks. And by the way, don't forget, Karl Anthony Towns, a dual threat. If you want to press up on him from the three-point line, he can put his head down and get to the rim. And these are the numbers I'm talking about out of their stars, and pay particular attention to those assist numbers for Karl Anthony Towns, over 6.5 a game.
Meanwhile, now time for Making It Look Easy, brought to you by Booking.com. Certainly wasn't easy in the last couple of rounds for the Cavaliers, but you look at what they did. That bounce-back Game 7 was magnificent, one of the best wins in franchise history. But they have to move on quickly. What's the keys for them to win this series?
The key for them is stay with the exact same formula. Everything starts and stops with Donovan Mitchell. He is their superstar. It took them 2 Game 7s in the first and second round in order for him to reach his first conference finals. He has the ability to go one-on-one. He is a 3-level scorer. He can attack from all areas, but for me, the #1 key is going to be the Twin Towers. Jared Allen, Evan Mobley. These two players, they have the versatility, the size, the strength, and the length to go at Karl Anthony Towns, who was dominant on both ends. And both of those bigs were dominant in their last outing in Game 7.
What a victory for the Cavs to advance to the conference finals. Meanwhile, in terms of injury news, good news for the Knicks. OG Anunoby returns. He missed Games 3 and 4 with the hamstring injury. He will start tonight. We'll have the starting lineups, an opening tip, Game 1 from New York City, coming up next.
The NBA Eastern Conference Finals are presented by Duncan. When your morning tip-off with coffee and breakfast at Duncan. And in part by Google.
Clearly looking like the team.
You told me wide open.
Playoffs, you're super high. They are a team that fights.
You better make it to the finals.
I know you've been listening. You've heard it all. Analysis, opinions. Whose year is it? Then the playoffs begin and predictions evaporate into stories we will never forget. What awaits? Feel it in the voices of the East.
Why not? He's untouchable.
We knew we were in a fight, but we knew we had a chance to.
Fires, fouls,
I just tried to square up and win in.
The last 25. Played so hard tonight that I didn't want to just slip away.
We just kept going, kept fighting. Man, that's fun.
Tonight begins another. A team that after years of unmet potential may at last defend the land.
I mean, everything you want is on the other side of hard. Nothing good comes easy.
Mitchell, the foul, the throw.
A team that has waited 53 years with stars ready to finally stop that clock.
This place means a lot to me. The journey shows you who you are.
Runs in a three. Bang!
Everyone with an idea how they want it to end. No one knowing how it will. So, strap in. Hear these voices of the East, and welcome to the Eastern Conference Finals.
13 Eastern Conference team season is done. 2 remain to fight for a place in the NBA Finals as we go to Knicks PA announcer Mike Wolszewski.
And now the starting lineup for the visiting Cleveland Cavaliers. At forward at 7 feet from USC, number 4, Evan Mobley. At forward at 6'9" from Kansas State, number 32, Dean Wade. At center at 6'11" from Texas, number 31, Jarrett Allen. At guard at 6'5" from Arizona State, number 1, James Harden. And at guard at 6'3" from Louisville, number 45, Donovan Mitchell. Head coach of the Cavs, Kenny Atkinson.
For Bridges, fire, puts it down at the horn. Alvarado, window again, okay. McBride, three-pointer, punch it ahead, Deuce McBride.
The Chase Freedom starting lineup for your New York Knicks. At center at 7 feet from Kentucky, number 32, Karl-Anthony Towns. At forward at 6'7" from Indiana, number 8, O.G. Anunoby. At forward at 6'4" from Villanova, number 3, John Hart. At guard at 6'6" from Villanova, number 25, Bridges. And at guard at 6'2" from Villanova, number 11, Jalen Brunson. The head coach to the Knicks, Mike Brown. Let's play ball.
Crowd is ready. The teams are ready. And our Lisa Salters is ready. Hello, Lisa.
Hey, Mike. Well, the debate about whether it's more important to be rested or in rhythm this time of year depends on who you ask. But these two teams are coming into this series on opposite ends of the spectrum. The Knicks haven't played since Mother's Day. And Josh Hart acknowledged the obvious, that yes, his team was rolling, but then had to, as Hart said, just sit there and wait. He said he'd rather not have a 9-day break, but regardless, he said, we've got to come in tonight with toughness, physicality, and energy from the jump. And for the Cavs, in addition to having just won another Game 7 just 2 days ago, tonight will be their 11th game in the last 21 days. In fact, Cleveland hasn't had more than 1 day of rest between games since Game 5 of their first-round series against the Raptors. But Donovan Mitchell told me no rest means no time to overthink, and he said he looks at it like this. For the past 9 seasons, he's been making plans for Memorial Day. I'd rather be doing this, Mitchell said, even if it means playing every other day. Mike.
And Lisa, he's back in his hometown. So guys, right, with this rust, is this just something we have to talk about every year, or is it a legitimate factor?
Oh, I think it's 100% a legitimate factor. You give yourself an opportunity. Think about OG Anunoby and that rest time that he was able to get. But then there's other players on the Cavs that have been banged up that are playing through things. There's a cumulative effect to that. It doesn't affect in the game, but ultimately over time.
No substitute for fresh legs. You always give me the rest. You have guys right now that feel energized for the Knicks, and I know it's difficult to manage it. You want to stay in rhythm, but the fresh legs for me win out in that argument every time.
We're also the team that's been waiting around. You've waited your whole career to play in games like this. I mean, they're chomping at the bit to get back there and playing somebody else beside themselves at the practice facility.
Yeah, you don't actually practice that much. There's more conditioning. You don't want any bumps and bruises. You just want guys to make sure they stay at a high level of conditioning, but ultimately everything goes out the window right now.
Well, this is considered the most expensive ticket for a conference final game ever. 2 center court seats went for $53,000 today. The average price is over $1,000. The lowest is around $500, and it is packed.